Scorpio. Hello, my Scorpion babies. Take what resonates and leave the rest. There's no gender in tarot. If it don't apply, let it fly. Switch it, flip it, get in where you fit in. All you need to know about me is at the description tab on the page, Scorpio. Please like, love, and share. Helps out with the channel. Also, personals are welcome. You can find that in the description tab as well. TikTok, Facebook, you can find other messages over there. Scorpio, let's see. Let's see the tea on your situation. Intimacy, bonding, seduction. Okay. Okay. Abandoned sideways. Okay. Left out. Walked away. Cold. But it's sideways. Stress. Argumentative, stressed out over a couple of things, or your person is. Bitterness. Ooh. Angry, hurtful words. Okay, resentment. Ooh. Maybe your person is feeling bitter, angry, upset due to some hurtful words that was discussed through an argument. Maybe you're a little stressed out because of the argument. The fighting, the competing, okay? Abandoned sideways, you haven't made a decision, or your person haven't made a decision to let it go, walk away, or they have left and they're trying to make a decision on should they come back because they like the intimacy, the passion, the love. That's been the same thing with the water sign. Woo. Let's see. I should have put the water signs together. But that's how it is. Okay? That's how it is. I had no intention of going this deep. I didn't know Spirit was going to have me do this today. Okay? But let's roll with it, Scorpio. The intimacy, the bond, the love, the compassion, the sex. 7 of Swords. Somebody's not being truthful. Okay, about how they feel. Okay, they're being dishonest, sneaky. They're not being open. They're being withdrawal. Stress. Page of Pentacles. Maybe it's the kids. If you don't have kids, maybe it's their immature behavior. Okay, maybe they're not being a man or a woman about it. Okay, they're not being open. They're afraid to talk. How you gonna be afraid of your partner? The strength in reverse, Leo energy. You could have Leo in your chart of dealing with the Leo. Or they could, highly aspected Lord of Mercury or Venus. Okay? You don't have the strength to continue to carry this any longer with abandoning. Like, you don't know what to do. You don't know where to leave it or take it. But at this point, you just want to drop it, leave it. Queen of Swords. Okay? Ooh. So maybe you or your person, Scorpio, has definitely put the smackdown on the smackdown with the Queen of Swords, Gemini energy. This person is very head over heart. This person is very direct. This person maybe is causing you to be bitter, okay? Or you bitter about the situation, or you have to be very direct. You have to put the smackdown on the smackdown, build some boundaries. Bit of warrior, okay, and it made you very incomplete about this relationship, and you may have come across just a tad bit bitter. Your bitterness is basically stressing you out. You feel like this person is being very immature, not adult about it, okay? Or you feel like you too young to having to go through this, or this relationship has started off in the beginning, surface level, butterflies and rainbows. It's just starting out. Why are we going through all this bitterness? Why are we going through all this abandonmentship? And personally, I don't have the strength to deal with it. Maybe they did leave the house. Maybe they did go away. And maybe you pull back your intimacy because of that. Maybe you're trying to be strategic, or you feel like that person is being very strategic, okay, on how they treat you. Maybe you feel like you're up in the air, your partner's up in the air about if they want to leave or if they want to stay. And the whole thing is making you very uncomfortable, which come from the bitter, which come from the stress. This is stressing you out, giving you a headache. You're tired of the back and forth. You're tired of the arguments. Why won't this person leave? If that's how they feel. Maybe there's a lack of intimacy. Maybe somebody's sleeping on the couch at this point. Maybe somebody's doing that for a reason, being strategic, being sneaky, because they're trying to abandon the situation that's stressing them out. That's making you bitter. Take what resonates. Lord. Let's see. Soul confession. Scorpio. I'm also hearing maybe that person is pulling back that energy and stressing you out so they can be sneaky and go give their intimacy to someone else. And you don't have the strength to continue to deal with the third parties. Whoa. I was right. You don't have it. You don't have it. You don't have the energy. Hold on, Scorpio. Let me pick these up really quick. Okay, Scorpio. They didn't like that. They didn't like that. Yeah, they wasn't with me till saying that part. Okay, being strategic, walking out to the third party. And maybe that's what's making you bitter and want to detach your energy and manifest somewhere else because this situation is stressing you out. I'm hearing abandoned ship. Okay? And you're trying to decide. They didn't like that, Scorpio. Ooh. Ow. Ew. Yeah, see, they don't like that. Ooh, I'm hitting some truth. Follow your bliss. Okay, some of y'all are getting to the point that you just rather, how do I say, be alone than having to deal with this. Some of y'all are getting y'all bliss through your peace, feeling good about yourself, making yourself happy. I'm hearing self-love, self-care. Okay? And if you're not, you're going to get to that point that you're going to get tired of the strategicness, the sneaky, the lack of intimacy, okay? The in and out, the ghosting, the abandoning. No matter if it's a third party or not, you're going to get to the point in your life that you're going to realize that this is immature. Or you've gotten to the point in your life that you realize this is immature. And because you're putting down your boundaries and upping your standards, this person thinks you're bitter. Because you're not on the same level as them anymore. You're pushing forward. You're, how they say, in a happy place, in a happy standard. You know, you're enjoying what today's got to offer. The joy, the peace, the happiness. You know, sometimes they don't like that. Dragonfly, yep. It says, lighten heart, finding out, changing things, healing, okay? So some of y'all may be seeing dragonflies or have that, what they call a dragonfly spirit. You're being more lighthearted. Some of y'all are going to decide or have decided to abandon the situation. Feel like I can do bad all by myself, okay? Can't nobody love me like I can, okay? And that's going to make you come across very respectable. And with the card out here, incenting, okay? Learning the bliss, new phase, preparing for another union. Now that union can also be with oneself. I see the dragonfly and I see bliss. That's self-love, self-care. Knowing that you're worth more than what this strategic situation has to offer you. Knowing that you're worth more than stress. Knowing that you're worth more than somebody pulling back their energy and being bitter, being mean, being miskind to you, Scorpio. Okay, knowing that you're worth something a little bit more and you're going to a better phase. You see how that air balloon just be flying up that shoe. You're going to something better. You don't know where you're going, but you're going. But I know one thing is better than dealing with this kind of energy. Okay? Yes, I like that. They didn't want me to say that. That's the part they didn't want me to say. That's the point they didn't want me to say, Scorpio. Okay? They didn't want me to say that. With the butterfly effect, some of y'all are opening up your heart just a little bit more. It takes one step at a time. Healing don't come overnight, just like hurt don't come overnight. I think healing is a long, drawing process. You grow. That's in the sentence. Following your bliss, okay? Feeling the joy and the hopeful that it brings you closer to your journey. Like I say, self-love, self-care. Some of y'all are learning that you love your journey, okay? You're appreciating your journey. You're transcending. You're preparing for union. Some of y'all are preparing yourself for a new relationship, a new intimacy in your life. Some of y'all, Scorpio, may have in this commitment realize that you love something a little bit more. You're pouring your love in something a little bit more. You're being more strategic because you're thinking about your best benefits, what you like, what makes you happy. Less of the stress and the turmoil. And sometimes it ain't nothing wrong with being just a tad bit selfish with yourself. Okay? In spite of all your hurt, the words, it's just hurtful words out here. You may be getting tired of getting the how they say, the unhealthy words, the hurtful words, the anger. Okay? You're starting to realize that itself is abuse. Emotional abuse is just as worse as physical abuse sometimes. I had to learn it myself. And it brings you more trauma and stress to the situation. At the bottom of the deck of this deck is TikTok. Okay? Maybe you're realizing that this situation has served its time. And you love the person with intimacy out here. But time's up. That's what I got for my Scorpio babies. Bye.